Something ancient is stirring beneath our feet, silent, invisible, and on the move. We've focused on viruses and bacteria, but the real threat may be coming from the ground, water, and air around us, parasites. These aren't just tropical nuisances, they're ancient survivors, now expanding into new territories as the planet warms. Melting ice, shifting seasons, and changing ecosystems are opening superhighways for these microscopic invaders. Parasites are moving into regions that never knew their touch. And this isn't random. It's a silent, calculated expansion. Imagine an enemy that can lie dormant for years, waiting for the right moment to strike. Our warming world is giving parasites longer breeding seasons, more hosts, and fewer barriers. We're transforming Earth into a paradise for them, while our defenses crumble. The implications are staggering. Public health, agriculture, and our sense of safety are all at risk. The rules of contagion are being rewritten, and what was once a distant problem is now a global crisis. We're entering a new age, not defined by the speed of a virus, but by the relentless advance of parasites. The ground beneath us is a new frontier in a war we're only beginning to understand. The enemy is at the gate, and most of us don't even know a war has begun. Welcome to the hidden invasion. Climate change is more than rising seas. It's a global incubator for parasites. Warmer temperatures speed up parasite life cycles, leading to population explosions and more chances for transmission. Parasites and their hosts, mosquitoes, ticks, snails, are moving into new regions, including North America and Europe. The Anopheles mosquito, once limited to the tropics, now appears at higher altitudes and latitudes. Extreme weather, floods and droughts, creates perfect conditions for parasites to spread, contaminating water and concentrating risks. Animal migration patterns are shifting, bringing parasites to new ecosystems and populations with no immunity. The balance that once kept parasites in check is gone. Our world of climatic extremes is tailor-made for their expansion. The paradise we're creating for them is quickly becoming our own nightmare. The invisible world is getting more crowded and more dangerous. Among the most terrifying parasites are those that target the brain. Naegleria fowleri, the brain-eating amoeba, once rare, is now appearing in places once too cold for it to survive. It enters through the nose during swimming, travels to the brain, and causes a deadly infection with a 97% fatality rate. Toxoplasma gondii, infecting up to a third of the world, can form brain cysts and is linked to psychiatric conditions. Climate change is expanding the range of these parasites and their hosts, increasing human exposure. Other parasites, like the pork tapeworm, can cause seizures and neurological symptoms as food safety is challenged by climate disasters. We're facing a new frontier of neurological disease driven by ancient organisms empowered by a modern crisis. Our own minds are now at risk. Think about your water, your food, your last walk in the park. In every moment, you intersect with a hidden world, some harmless, some waiting. Our sense of safety is our greatest vulnerability. The most profound dangers are invisible. The belief that modern infrastructure protects us is an illusion. Cracks are widening every day. Parasites are already here, in our soil, our pets, our water. This isn't about panic, but about shattering complacency. The lines between safe and dangerous places have blurred. Infections once confined to the tropics now appear in suburban communities. The threat is personal, local, and immediate. We need new awareness and vigilance. The greatest trick parasites ever pulled was convincing us they were a problem of the past. They've advanced while we looked away. The question is no longer if they'll reach you, but whether you'll be prepared. Climate change is accelerating parasite evolution, creating superparasites that are tougher, faster, and more adaptable. More generations mean more mutations, some making parasites resistant to heat, pesticides, or even drugs. Each year of record heat increases the odds of dangerous new traits emerging. Drug resistance is already a growing problem, and climate change is making it worse. Imagine malaria or common parasites no longer responding to treatment. We're in an arms race. Parasites evolve in months. New drugs take years. The warming world is their training ground, and they're emerging stronger than ever. We're not just facing yesterday's parasites, but tomorrow's supercharged threats. Our defenses are falling behind. The stakes have never been higher. The front line is the doctor's office, but the medical community is unprepared. As parasites move into new regions, doctors miss the signs. Symptoms mimic common illnesses, leading to deadly delays. Diagnostic tools and expertise are lacking, especially in newly affected areas. By the time the true cause is found, it's often too late. These are not failures of individual doctors, but of a system built for a world that no longer exists. Our medical education and infrastructure haven't kept pace with the invasion. We're fighting a 21st century enemy with a 20th century mindset. Patients are paying the price. We stand at the edge of the parasite era, a time of constant, creeping threats to health, food, and economies. For developing nations, climate change will intensify existing burdens and introduce new ones, overwhelming fragile healthcare systems. The developed world won't be immune. Economic costs will soar, and cherished places may become high-risk zones. Our globalized food system could spread drug-resistant parasites across continents. Even our homes could become unsafe as new insect hosts invade. The parasite era will force us to rethink how we live and interact with our environment. The most frightening aspect? We are profoundly unprepared. Surveillance systems and public health messaging lag behind the threat. We've invested in pandemic preparedness, but ignored the slow, relentless rise of parasites. The enemy is in the ground beneath our feet, and we've barely begun to sound the alarm. The threat is global, but we're not helpless. Awareness is our first defense. Understand the risks and take practical steps. Be cautious with warm, stagnant freshwater. Avoid swimming or use nose clips. Wash produce thoroughly, cook meat properly, and test well water after floods. Treat natural water sources before drinking when outdoors. Protect yourself from ticks and mosquitoes. Use repellents, wear long clothing, and check for ticks after being outside. Remove ticks quickly to reduce disease risk. If you develop unusual symptoms after exposure, tell your doctor about possible parasite contact. By taking these steps, we build a culture of awareness and resilience. We can prepare ourselves for the challenges ahead. The silent march of parasites is a warning from the planet. Climate change is now invading our bodies and brains. This is a clear and present danger, escalating every season. We need a global, coordinated response. Invest in surveillance, research, and rapid diagnostics. Accelerate development of new drugs and reform medical education to recognize emerging threats. Public awareness is essential. Governments must educate citizens about new risks and practical steps. This isn't fear-mongering, it's empowerment. The health of our planet and ourselves are inseparable. We can ignore the warning and face the parasite era unprepared, or we can act now. This is a fight for our health, security, and future. Parasites are relentless and adaptable. The time to act was yesterday. The next best time is now.